Have you ever looked at your life and thought I should be further along by now? Maybe you've identified the pattern. Maybe you've become aware of what it was revealing. Maybe you've even realized what it was protecting. And yet, you still don't feel as different as you thought you would. I've had that feeling. The feeling that I should be growing faster, healing faster, changing faster. And if I'm honest, there were moments I started questioning whether I was making progress at all. Because growth can be frustrating, especially when you can see what needs to change. You recognize the pattern. You can identify the fear. You acknowledge the wound. And yet, the process still takes time. That's what I've been wrestling with lately. Because a part of me expected awareness to create immediate transformation. I thought once I saw it, I would automatically move beyond it. But that's not how formation works. And the more I sit with that, the more I realize that transformation is usually slower than revelation. One thing I'm learning is that growth often happens in ways we don't immediately recognize. We want dramatic change, visible change, instant change. But formation tends to happen in smaller moments. Moments where I pause when I used to react. Moments where I notice something I used to miss. Moments where I choose differently than I would have 6 months ago. Moments where I recover faster. Moments where I become aware sooner. And because those changes aren't dramatic, it's easy to overlook them. But those small moments matter because they reveal that something is changing beneath the surface. Something is being formed. And maybe that's the tension. We're looking for evidence of perfection while God is producing transformation. So lately I've been trying to ask myself different questions. Instead of asking, why am I not there yet? I've been asking, what has changed? What do I see now that I couldn't see before? What do I recognize now that I didn't recognize before? How am I responding differently? Where am I growing? Because when I ask those questions, I start noticing evidence of formation. Not perfection, formation. And that's helping me become more patient with the process. Not passive, patient. There's a difference. Because patience doesn't mean I stop doing the work. It means I stop demanding instant results. I'm still learning this. But one thing I'm beginning to understand is that growth isn't always obvious when you're living through it. Sometimes you only recognize it when you look back. Sometimes you don't realize how much has changed until you encounter something that used to control you. And you respond differently. Not perfectly, differently. And maybe that's where you are right now. Maybe you're frustrated because you're measuring yourself against where you want to be, instead of recognizing how far you've come. If that's you, I want to encourage you not to confuse slow growth with no growth. Don't confuse process with failure. Don't confuse formation with being stuck. Because just because transformation is taking longer than you expected, doesn't mean transformation isn't happening. So as I sit with this lesson, I'm asking myself, where am I looking for perfection when God is inviting me to notice formation? Because maybe I wasn't stuck. Maybe I was growing in ways I couldn't yet see. Maybe I was being formed. And maybe you are too.